What's going on, guys? It's Nick here, back with another video. Time to do another mock draft, and we're going to be using Fantasy Football Calculator again. It is still really the only site that is actually running on things that we might think are realistic for 2021. Every single other site is still using the 2020 rankings, and that's not overly useful. I have reached out to Fantasy Pros because we kind of think they're going to be the first ones to really push 2021 rankings into their simulator. And since that's the simulator we like to use anyways, because I do think it's the best one in the industry right now, unless something else pops up this season, it should be the best one. I've reached out to them. They're usually really quick about getting back to me, so I'll definitely know, at least I'm pretty sure I'll know by next week's video, and hopefully next week we can use their site because they let us use no clock. And you guys know I like to go on my tangents in between picks, and so I don't want to have that 45-second or minute clock on. I want to be able to talk to you guys. But I think we're going to have a 1 minute clock on this one, but you know, it is what it is. It's the only site we can use, so I guess we should be happy that we have this one. We did the 9 pick last time, so let's go, I don't know, 3, something towards the beginning, and prefer not to have the turn when using this site because, again, it's like it'd be our back-to-back picks. We wouldn't have as much time to talk. This will give us a few more seconds. So 12-team league, full PPR. Let's see what we can do. So we're going to hide drafted players. We see Alvin Kamara and Christian McCaffrey go 1 and 2. At this spot, I don't think you can ever really go wrong. Like, if you really want Derrick Henry, you really want Dalvin Cook, you want to go with wide receiver and Adams, I probably wouldn't, but I think the pick here this season is probably going to be Barkley. Again, we're just going to need to see this offseason how much is he recovering, how quickly is he going to recover. He's like a physical freak. He's someone that I do expect to make a full recovery and be good to go to start the season, but we're going to know. So it's not that big of a deal that we don't know at this point because no one's drafting in January. So we're going to know at that point. It's possible he slides back a little bit if his recovery is going to be delayed. But again, if you want to go at that spot with really any of those, it's like the big 5. It's like Kamara, McCaffrey, Barkley, Cook, Henry. That's basically what I see the first 5 picks being. Obviously, Derrick Henry getting a downgrade in full PPR leagues, but still being perfectly fine to draft because the dude just ran for 2,000 yards. Like, and we don't expect it to be much different next season. He's going to have a touchdown, he's going to have the yards, and he has, honestly, a much higher floor than people give him credit for. So we see Patrick Mahomes go, we see Kelsey and Kittle go, we see Adams, Tyreek, Hopkins, Ridley, Diggs, Metcalf, and Keenan Allen go, and running back Dalvin Cook, Henry Chubb, Zeke Eckler, Jonathan Taylor, Aaron Jones, and Josh Jacobs. So at running back, we can choose from James Robinson, Miles Sanders, Clyde, Swift, Mixon, Montgomery. Not a bad pool, but I think we're definitely going to get at least one of them in our next pick, so we don't necessarily need to. At wide receiver, Michael Thomas, A.J. Brown, Allen Robinson. Honestly, I think the pick here would come down to A.J. Brown and Michael Thomas. Everyone's going to be down on Michael Thomas this next season. I can promise you of that. He was obviously injured to close out the season. He was injured for basically the majority of the season. In a full PPR league, getting him there is solid. The problem is we don't know who his quarterback is going to be. But we have seen him succeed. He had some really nice games with Taysom Hill at quarterback. You got to think he's still going to be the lead guy in this offense. Late second round for a guy that still has easy 100 reception upside is solid. But I think that's where he's going to be going. I think he could end up being a third round pick. And again, it's what we think this offense is going to be. If we really think it's going to be a run-first offense with Taysom Hill, maybe that's not a good pick there. But obviously, I have like 10 seconds to make these picks. All of our wide receivers are still there, and I'm inclined to kind of go there, honestly. We could take Swift, we could take Montgomery, but I'd prefer just wait on running back at that point. I don't think we need to go with tight end or quarterback here, and so we'd be going with wide receiver. The pick here would probably be A.J. Brown, but there are honestly plenty of options. Yeah, I don't even know what it would be. It basically come down to, do you want A.J. Brown, Amari Cooper, Allen Robinson, depending on where he goes in free agency. Godwin would honestly be a perfectly fine pick. We're assuming that Brady continues playing there with that pick, obviously. Will Fuller depends on where he lands. We wouldn't go with him at that spot. Justin Jefferson would not have been a bad pick there. Hopefully we can get another one. I would actually like, because Michael Thomas, technically, it sounds crazy to say, but Michael Thomas would be a risky pick in the second round, given what we saw this past season. I would like to take another one of these wide receivers. Would have loved Amari Cooper. I think that he was an absolute monster with Dak Prescott healthy. And since we don't know the status of him right now, I guarantee he's going to stay in this 4th round range until we start getting a ton of mock drafts and normal drafts in like June, July, August. And if we get a full bill of health from Dak, he's probably going to be like a late 2nd to early 3rd round pick. So would definitely love him in the 4th round. But some excellent receivers here. I don't think we can pass up on these guys. Godwin and Justin Jefferson kind of seem like the clear 2 guys, but the year that Justin Jefferson just had is just phenomenal. He's very clearly already like an elite wide receiver. He's just going to make strides forward. Adam Thielen is just going to be 1 year older. I would have gone with Chris Godwin with his next pick, for being honest. That would have been an exceptional start. But what do we have right now? We've got Barkley. We're assuming he's going to be good to go with that pick. Michael Thomas, A.J. Brown, and Justin Jefferson. So we can go back to running back. Probably wouldn't go to Mostert. Drake wouldn't be a horrible idea. Ronald Jones, not terrible. Myles Gaskin, James Conner. I am not in love with any of these picks. It's possible that you take a rookie at this spot. Depends on when Harris goes. Depends on where basically everyone goes. So I don't like taking rookies in these mock drafts because of that. Mark Andrews would not be a horrible pick. It wouldn't be a bad idea to grab our quarterback, though. Yeah, I see the drop-off happening at quarterback. So, again, I think Dak's going to be good to go. This was a major injury, though, so we're not going to know. But 5th round for Dak, if he was healthy, and that'd be the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That'd be the 7th quarterback taken. If he's healthy, he's going to be a top 4 quarterback. He's probably going to be Mahomes. It'll be Lamar, too, I think. Rodgers and Kyler Murray going to be there. Josh Allen's going to be there, but a fully healthy Dak is a top 4 to 5 quarterback. So we've locked in our quarterback. Don't need to go back to there. I'd like to take a running back at this spot, though. It's just like none of them have been sticking out to me because I'm not taking Gurley. I'm not taking Singletary, Chase Edmonds, Leonard. I don't want to take Hines because we don't know who the quarterback's going to be there. I don't want to take A.J. Dillon this early, especially in a full PPR league. So, I mean, the pick would technically be Harris, but I don't know where he's going to go, and I don't want to make this unrealistic. Let's go RB0. Since I don't like any of these running backs, let's just say Barkley's locked in. We'll figure it out from there. Let's just keep hammering out wide receiver. So we've got about 26 seconds. You could go to Juju, but I'm not sure he'll stay in Pittsburgh. You could go with Chark with the new quarterback, but Brandon Ayuk would be a great pick here. Chase Claypool, Deebo Samuel, DJ Moore. I think it would be Ayuk. Again, this was such a good wide receiver class that I feel like we're not giving some of these other guys credit just because Justin Jefferson was so good and then CeeDee Lamb was so good before the Zach injury. But like there were a ton of exceptional wide receivers, and this was their rookie season. Like they get better. Like obviously having a full off season, having more time, having potentially a training camp this season. I think we got to be still targeting these rookie receivers just like we were last season. So we've got Thomas, Brown, Jefferson, and Ayuk, full PPR league. We can start 3 receivers. We've got Barkley, we've got Dak. Looks like a strong core. I'm not afraid to take one more of these receivers and then just hammer out some running backs that have upside. And so if we were to do that, it would be between T. Higgins and DJ Moore and Chase Claypool. My mind is saying, since like we talked about in yesterday's video, you're only trying to hit on like 3 to 4 staple players in your draft. So 3 to 4 dudes who are just like consistent starters. They're going to be ones, so like running back 1, wide receiver 1s, probably like top 5 tight ends is what you'd want to hit on. Top 5 quarterback. Like you want to hit on 3 or 4 of these guys in the draft. And so at this point, I want people who have that in the range of outcomes. And Chase Claypool has top 5 receiver next season in his range of outcomes, especially if Juju is gone. Just the target potential is immense. It's going to depend on their quarterback situation, who is playing quarterback for them, but in his range of outcomes. And I think that the only other player who we really only two players we're looking at were T. Higgins and DJ Moore. Not bad picks over here with like Sutton, not a bad pick. Parker, Cook, Steve, none of them are bad picks, but I think Moore, Higgins, and Claypool had like the most upside there. Don't need to go wide receiver now. We already have 5 of them. So let's look for upside. I mean, it'd be Harris, but Harris, Etienne, Pollard, technically, Damian Harris, all of these guys are who we're looking at running back. I don't really know that there would be another option. I mean, I guess that's not like unrealistic to think that he would go at this spot. He probably won't. But again, it's all going to be dependent on landing spot. And this is still the 8th round. I mean, we saw Jonathan Taylor go early, but there weren't too many rookies last season, at least, that went exceptionally early. I think we go with like back-to-back Harrises here. So we get Najee Harris, and then we get Damian Harris. We'll just hope that one of the Harrises work out. Sony Michel is just not good. Like, Sony Michel is just not a good running back. And so hopefully this next season, I don't think Cam Newton's going to be the quarterback for the Patriots, but hopefully this next season they figure out the quarterback position, whether it's through the draft or free agency. Kind of hope it's both. Like, I hope they bring someone in free agency, but then also draft someone to get them ready maybe for 2022. But regardless, I don't think it's going to be Cam, and Cam's just, stealing so many of the goal line touches for these running backs, stealing all the touchdowns, honestly, for the entire offense, it felt like. And so you remove him, maybe Harris has 10 touchdown upside. Maybe they use him as a feature back, because they kind of were using him a lot in the run game, not as much in the receiving game. But Newton also didn't throw to many running backs. And so upside. We're just looking for dudes who have a ceiling. All the other running backs got taken. Let's look at tight end. Higbee, Jonnu Smith jumps out. Gesicki jumps out. Dallas Goedert definitely. Hooper, Irv Smith. So definitely a number of options. But I'm going to take Jonnu here because A, I have 15 seconds. And B, if they can't re-sign him, he is such an athletic freak that if he goes to a situation where they're not like bottom 5 in the league in pass attempts, like they're actually, maybe he goes to a team that's top 5 in pass attempts on a team that has a quarterback that wants to target tight ends, like he has so much upside. So looking for the pure upside at that pick. Round 11, probably want to stick with running back because Michael Thomas, A.J. Brown, Justin Jefferson, Ayuk, and Claypool feel like a good core of wide receivers, and so we really want to hammer out these running backs. I'm not going to take a rookie here, so let's take goodness. There's absolutely no one who has upside. I guess technically Philip Lindsay, it felt like he was hurt for like the majority of the season. He was horrendous this year. But Lindsay wouldn't be bad. Cohen wouldn't be bad to like get points in a PPR league. But I don't really think anyone here. McKinnon, technically, let's go with Lindsay with this one. Hope McKinnon's there. McKinnon is not going to be on the 49ers next season. He's absolutely going somewhere else. Where is he going to go? I have no idea. Will he be a feature back where he goes? Very, very unlikely. But could he see 10 to 12 touches each week with maybe 8 coming on the ground and anywhere from 2 to 4 receptions? That would be like a realistic eye hit on McKinnon with that pick, would be production like that, because touchdowns could be there. If he's getting, 2 to 4 receptions in PPR, that's a guy that we can stream on our team at 2. Because remember, we've got Barkley. We only need to start 2 running backs. And in like high scoring games where whatever team he's going to is projected to lose, again, pure speculation in January. Like, I don't know where he's going to go. I don't know if he is going to have any sort of role in the team he's going to. But he is a player in this range that, at least in his range of outcomes, has third down back with some first and second down workload upside. So if he goes to a team that's going to throw a ton, we like seeing that. Next pick, still looking for the upside, still don't want to take a rookie. No to most of these guys. Benny Snell, maybe you want to go with McFarland if you think McFarland will be played over Snell. Boston Scott is like a handcuff, not to our handcuff, but someone's handcuff. It's gross though. It's really, really bad out there. I'm sure there's someone down there that, like, if we kept scrolling, we'd find someone that's misplaced. But at least at the top, I guess you go with Benny Snell here. That also is like a little bit of a hedge off of Claypool, because, like, let's say Big Ben's not the quarterback anymore. They shift away from a pass-heavy offense and they shift towards Benny Snell. I guess that's the scenario where he works out. Maybe like McFarland a little bit more. How many rounds are in this, by the way? 15 rounds, so 14. All right, so we're taking defense and kicker with these last two. Maybe you like McFarland there. I've still always thought that their plan for McFarland was change of pace. And so we basically saw that play out this season, was that we'll just take the Kansas City defense. We saw it play out this season where James Conner goes down and McFarland, you might think he's getting more time than Snell. He moves in the starter's role. That's not what happens. They take Snell and they make him starter, and they kind of keep McFarland change of pace. I think that might be how they want to use him, but we're going to get plenty of that news over the we'll go with Prater at kicker. We're going to get plenty of that news over the offseason. I think that if we get more reports, and again, this isn't, you can't always just like trust these reports, but if it kind of seems like McFarland is definitely going to be used over Benny Snell, well, I mean, I would love that, because I think McFarland is definitely very talented, and he's the kind of guy that if they give him a feature workload, he can excel in the receiving game. He can, any play, take it to the house. 60, 70-yard rushing touchdown. That's not really something Benny Snell is going to do all that much. I just think he is more talented, but until I hear that they want McFarland to be an early down back and not be a change of pace back, I don't trust taking him. But again, it's like the final round of the draft, and that's certainly possible. So let's go over the team. Definitely weak at running back. Like, I'm not going to hide that, but that was like the goal once we declared that we were going RB0, was saying, hey, last season it was James Robinson. This season it could be someone else. And so if you start off with Dak at your quarterback, Barkley at running back, and he works out, and then you can just find three of Michael Thomas, A.J. Brown, Justin Jefferson, Brandon Ayuk, and Chase Claypool. Find three of those guys each week to start. Now you're good at quarterback, you're good at RB1, you're good at running back, or you're good at wide receiver and flex. Tight end, Jonnu Smith. I mean, again, there's like three good tight ends. I was taking someone who's exceptionally talented and could be going to a really nice offense, so upside to be usable there. And then I basically said, I got to figure out running back too, whether that's through free agency, whether that's through the trade market. I can maybe package together if Michael Thomas returns to his old self. And A.J. Brown is just an absolute monster, so he's going to work out. Justin Jefferson, monster, probably going to work out. If all these receivers work out, you can package one of them with like another running back or somebody to pick up on free agency for a really nice running back too. Well, that's better than trying to guess in the draft, because I have no idea if like this fifth round range of running back of Ronald Jones, Raheem Mostert, Myles Gaskin, I have no idea if come next season in literally like 9 months, if these guys are going to be the starters. But I'm pretty sure that Justin Jefferson is, and Brandon Ayuk is, and Chase Claypool will be. And so why not just take them for sure thing? Once we figure out who the really good running backs are, well, then you can trade for them in season. But don't try and guess this far out as to what they are. Obviously, no one's drafting at this point out, but that's just a thought. Even if you're drafting in like June, July, August, if you're in a range where you're like, this guy is pretty good, but I'm not entirely sure if he's going to be all that great at running back, and this is really just a running back commentary, why not take the sure things at wide receiver and then try and trade for and pick up the running backs? We did try to hit. We got Sony Michel. Sony Michel, oh my God. I don't know. I looked at Giants and S and I saw Sony Michel. We got Saquon Barkley to headline running back. And then we did take 5 in rounds 8 through 13, grabbing Najee Harris, grabbing Damian Harris, Phillip Lindsay, J.D. McKissick, and Benny Snell. The overwhelmingly likely outcome there is that you get maybe 1 starting running back, maybe 2 of those guys are starters, but you only need 1 to happen, and you don't really need any of them to happen because you can figure it out, like I said. So I think that's really it. Again, I have reached out to Fantasy Pros. I'm hoping next week maybe they get it together and they can have, we can do the mock drafts on there because it's a much better setup. But if not, we'll do another draft on Fantasy Football Calculator next Friday, probably from like a middle pick. Maybe we do like the 5, 6, 7 kind of range. But I think this team worked out pretty solid. Again, overall takes is you probably want one of these early tight ends. I didn't love the value where I was in like the late second when Kittle and Kelsey were gone, but we got to get that upper end quarterback. We hammered out wide receiver in the middle rounds. We grabbed our elite running back, and then we tried to hit on one late. That is a general strategy that works for us. So that's the end of this one. Hope you all did enjoy. If you did, then how about hitting that like button? And how about subscribing to the channel if you're new? Thanks for watching.